we're back. We're still here with Tim Trollgasm. Right here, he's taking us on an adventure with the X Files. Resist or serves Scully. Take it away again, Tim.
Thank you. Boy, I am excited for this one. So last year, we did a meme category of this as a backup, which was just the first 15 minutes of the game. We're doing the full run today. Object of the game, just finish it. So time will start in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so this is the X-Files Resist or Serve. It is a game that, like, 90% of the people I talk to don't actually know that it exists. Actually, I should probably mention that Mild Goth Daddy's going to be hanging out with us in this run.
Hello.
Mild has briefly looked at the game before, maybe once. Once or twice, yeah. It's a game that not many people know exists. Whenever I bring it up, it's always like, what? X-Files had a game? This is very much a Silent Hill, Resident Evil style game, which you will see very quickly. So we don't have to kill him, but he drops a bunch of ammo, which saves us picking up ammo later on. So we're just going to pick it up. Now the game's actually split into two scenarios, much like Resident Evil 2 is. Quite different actually. So it's there are moments where Mulder and Scully will meet up, but for the most part, you're doing your own thing. So like there's a section later on where you'll be doing a specific task while Mulder is doing something else, which I think is a really cool way to do it. It's actually technically canon. This was released in 2004, just before the release of the DVD of Season 7. And so it's slotted in, it's like bonus secret episodes or whatever, lost episodes as they call it. And it's 3 episodes split into 2 parts. So there's 6 episodes technically, and I've just run into a wall because I'm talking. And so they slot in just after the 2nd episode of Season 7 and the 3rd. That guy can be a bit of a pain. He just kind of gets up on you and he swings his severed arm at you. So that's great. So we've just picked up the key to get through this door that's locked. As you can see, the movement is very much like... Well, the camera anyway is like fixed camera like you'd see in Silent Hill or Resident Evil. However, we have analog controls, not proper tank controls. So that makes movement a little bit interesting. Sometimes you can be set and then the camera will change and you might move the analog stick maybe the tiniest little bit and then it will just completely change the direction that Scully's running. So that can cause some memes, so be prepared for that. Like sometimes you'll see me just do a full 360 for no reason, and that's just because camera's weird.
That was my main issue when I was first like checking out the game, like trying to figure out how to maneuver with the camera.
Yeah, so
just flipping around on you.
And that's the thing, like it's pretty gross on controller. I haven't seen how it plays on mouse and keyboard, but there is a fella in the Discord that runs the game on mouse and keyboard, so I'll have to find out how it is. So the whole premise of the game is there's been some weird deaths happening in this place in Red Falls, Colorado. So Mulder and Scully go to investigate it under the impression that it's like witchcraft and occult related. And then they're met by zombies, which is the most witchcraft thing that I can think of. The first chapter here it's the longest chapter by a lot. It's also got the most downtime for things, so I'll try not to leave too much open space. So we're talking to Chaco here, and he's locked up, and he's saying that he needs his medication, and that his medication is in his trailer. So we're picking up his keys, and we're going to head down to the trailer park now. Load times in this game are a killer, because we're actually running on real hardware. We're not running emulator. The categories on the leaderboard are split between emulator and real hardware just because of that time difference between loads. Emulator is way faster, go figure. Like it's a good couple of seconds difference. Which over the course of the run adds up. I think it's about 6-minute difference between the world records on real hardware and emulator, and most of that.
Because normally it's the opposite.
Yeah.
You know, like the emulator is usually slower. So.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, Some of the people from my community might remember the first run I did was an emulator run, and I was like, oh, it's like 2 minutes faster than the real hardware world record. What's going on here? And then, yeah, it turns out that emulator's actually faster. Oh, I really need to turn those alerts off, dude. Pro streamer here. Got to turn off alerts. Alright, so we're going to enter here. This part can get a bit disgusting because they can meet you at the door and just like swing for the fences. The enemy AI in this game is not the brightest. However, the time it takes for your stun animation to finish is, I think, maybe like a fourth of a second. Really like tiny time difference. It's slower than the animation for the guys to start swinging. So if they're in a mood, they can just stun lock you. I think the dogs are pretty good there. Dogs, much like Resident Evil games, are a pain in the ass. But I just find the dogs in this game are probably the worst dogs I've encountered in any game ever. Because their patterns are just, you can't pick what they're doing. Like it is RNG in the purest sense. Like some days you'll have a run where they're nowhere near, but then it's like other days they're on you within that split second, and they deal a lot of damage. So the idea is to get away from them as quickly as you can and just keep them under control. So we're gonna when like coming up to zombies and enemies, you can actually pull out your flashlight, and it stuns them. The flashlight gets them in the eyes. It sort of blinds them for a second. You can get around them quite easily. However, Scully runs slower when she's got a flashlight out, much like when she's got a gun out. It's actually slower. If you have gun and flashlight equipped at the same time, she's not running. She's walking as slow as humanly possible. So the idea is to stay unarmed for as much of the run as we can. There are some instances where it's actually faster to just leave the gun out rather than put it away and you know, pull it out again, because there is that animation that will play every single time. So we just had Mulder appear. He's been bitten by one of the zombies, so now we're heading to the hospital to try and work out a way to cure Mulder of his infection. And this is where partner AI shows its true colors. It's going to sound like I'm talking a lot of crap on this game, and I probably am, but it is a very fun run. The partner AI in this game is not the brightest either, in that he'll quite often run into enemies. Like, very rarely will he try to like sidestep them or anything. And when it comes to combat, there are certain times in combat where he just stands there. Which is another good time to mention that this game does not have checkpoints except for the start of chapters. So unless you make a physical save within the game, if you die, it takes you back to the start of that chapter. So the last thing we want is for Mulder or Scully to die, because you're losing a big chunk of time. Especially in like Act 1, where it's a 25-minute segment, roughly.
You'll see a few times where the partner AI really, like a famous section towards the end. Don't want to spoil anything, you know.
No
but
spoilers. The one part of the run that I'm really dreading, to be honest. So yeah, there is the meme in my community of Mulder Senpai noticing us whenever he actually decides to be useful. Okay, so we're going to pick up some microscope slides here to do what we need to do next. So there's going to be a doctor. He's going to pop out here in just a sec and try to have a go at us, but we're having none of that. So I am in the door. What is going on? That is so weird. Okay. Cool. Alright, so Mulder did most of the work there, which is great. So now we're coming up to the first of 3 autopsy sections. So if you're a bit squeamish, then, you know, look away. But also don't look away, because it's really cool. So in these sections, you need to have the gloves and the eye protection equipped before you do it. Otherwise, Scully will become infected, and then you then have to waste time curing Scully as well. Okay, so we've just done that, and now we're going to extract some fun liquids from this zombie corpse. And then we're going to go over and we're going to create a vaccine. Okay, The button is pretty precise. Game. Would you like to see what I mean by precise? Alright, cool, there we go. So these codes are the same every time, so 432. Scully just all of a sudden knows how to cure the zombie virus infection. Oh, okay, so we just got grabbed, that's always fun. Alright, so now we're going back to Chaco's, well, we're back to the trailer park, I should say, because Mulder's found some evidence at the trailer, like that leads to the trailer park, so we're going back there. So those dogs and zombies that we saw a moment ago, we are going to kill them, because the last thing we want is to have them block us at the door of the trailer when we're trying to leave. It's just not a good time for anyone. So we'll do that. Wasted all that ammo on old mate for no reason whatsoever. So and there's actually you'll see here the enemies can actually start moving long before you have control back of the character, so it creates for some very frustrating moments where if an enemy's very close to you when you enter the area, they can actually deal a fair bit of damage to you before you even get a chance to defend yourself. So that's always something to be mindful of. So I think I will probably try and pick up some kind of health pack at the moment, just because the way this run has been going, it's not great, to be honest. Blessed be the White Tiger.
Keys.
Okay, I think there's a pill bottle, yeah, so there's a aspirin bottle. So you get like your med packs, and then aspirin bottles also act as heals as well. The game's actually quite generous with like pickups. I don't know that there's been too many times where I've actually been in a situation where I've had like no ammo or health packs. Like it kind of goes, oh, you've lost X amount of ammo or health, so I'll be generous and drop something, which is really helpful. So we've picked up a key, so we're now going to head over to the post office. We're going to try and get into the post office, and then head over to a garage. We just picked up the key to a garage that I guess one of the two suspects works at. I'm just going to check my camera. Yeah, that should be alright. Oh, that's a weird camera angle. Typical marathon. I've never had that happen before. Okay. So this bloke here has the key to the post office. That was really good RNG, because quite often you get swarmed by those guys as you're like trying to pick up the key. That position on the way back might be a bit weird, but we'll see how we go. Okay. Nothing really to do in here except for going through and into the next area. If you were playing as Mulder, there is a couple of things you need to do in the post office, but you know, we're not doing that.
So do you go through, like, with the different characters through the same areas?
You do, yeah. There are some areas that are, like, exclusive to certain characters. Like, Mulder has a specific area that he goes to that Scully doesn't, and vice versa. But they both go through the post office. They both go to the hospital. Oh, that was a good dodge-ish. So, like, this part here, in Mulder's scenario, you actually start in this area. Oh, well, yeah, you start in, well, not this particular area, but like the building you leave will take you to this area. And then there's different boss fights. So like we're coming up to our first boss fight, which if you are subbed to my channel, you know what emote to spam. If you're not subbed to my channel, then I would kindly ask you to spam the phrase blame Hector. Hector is our first boss, and he can be a bit of a shitter. Can't kill him with a gun. You actually have to crush him 3 times with a car on a lift, just up and down. Usually you can get 2 good hits off on him before he decides to start acting up, but we'll see how we go. I don't like that. Okay, we've got a good Hector fight. Those are few and far between. Which and this isn't like an actual thing, it's clearly superstition and anecdotal, but I have found that every single run I have done that has a good Hector fight usually leads to a very, very bad end. So, that's a thing. I like Dig's spirit. Dig has a pure hatred for Hector. Alright, so we've just picked up a, like a jack, like you would use to lift up a car. And a cigar box. So now we're heading back through, like we've just skipped a phone call with Mulder, and he's like, yo, meet me at the fire station. This is what I'm talking about, where zombies can just be like, yo dog, how are we going for health? Heal, that should be right. So yeah, we're meeting Mulder at the fire station, so we're going all the way back through. So as I said, there's a lot of downtime in this section. Like the first chapter is by far the hardest one to slog through. As I feel like they kind of used up all the creative ideas in the first 2 chapters, and then we're like, well, we need to finish this game off, so let's make everything else after that really quick. So yeah, that's last year when we killed Hector, that would have been that was the end of the run. So you're getting a whole hour's worth of extra stuff that we didn't get to last year.
Getting the full experience.
Full experience, yeah. Gillian Anderson's totally not lifeless eyes in this this run. What's this positioning like? Oh, I thought we had a clear path, but the game says no. Oh, there is infighting in this game too. So like, sometimes you'll see the zombies just start going at each other, which sometimes works in your favor. And I'll tell a story later on when we get to it about infighting that really helped me. Okay. So, again, we're just running past these boys. Actually, now's probably a good time to mention, there is actually, I think, 3 active bounties in the Discord for this game. I'm offering up money for anyone that can find a couple of consistent strats in a couple of areas, or just any significant time saves whatsoever. So, if you feel like you want to brave the game and all its quirks, earn a bit of coin doing it.
Perfect time to plug the Discord.
Yeah, absolutely.
Join in there, we can give you all the info.
Okay, so we're running through the fire station here. This is another one of those areas where there's, I mean, if you want to explore and pick up extra pickups, then yeah, that's cool, but we don't need to. We're just beeline to where we need to go. Okay, so we're coming up on another couple of dogs here. So there is a strat that kind of keeps him in check a little bit. That's not the dog I'm talking about though. He can be a bit of a turd. So the idea here is to sort of run up to the left side of the road here, and quite often you can just kind of keep in front of them and not have to worry about them. So we'll see how that goes. Oh. Oh, they seem to be playing quite nice today, which is good. Thank Christ. Or some kind of high power anyway. Well, I say that just as he decides to start charging at me. Alright, let's get out of here. Molar's not too worried about the dog trying to bite him on the butt, so why should I be? Cool, so this is where another part of the run where it like changes a bit. So we're going to in a moment when shit goes down, we're actually going to leave and go to a different area. If you were to do Mulder's run, it is actually Mulder's first boss fight coming up. Oh, that was weird. So this is Caitlin. She's one of the girls that was suspected of like being a witch, but we soon learn out that she's not actually a witch. Caitlin. And other stuff is going down. So yeah, that cutscene there, the sheriff comes in, and then we're like, oh, he's not the sheriff at all. He's a alien bounty hunter. So we're coming up towards the end-ish of the chapter. We gotta go into this little bunker area, and there's a fun little area that I absolutely despise as well. Fun fact, Vac, in Mulder's scenario, you actually get the stiletto that you use to kill the alien bounty hunters. It's the only way you can kill certain bosses. Alright, so we're... Again, just there's zombies and stuff. Here is the, like, I'm pretty sure the only zombie cat in the game. And we're just going to run right on past him. I've never had a single issue with that cat. So going into the cemetery, and then we're going to, there's like a hole in the back of, like, one of the graves there, and we're going to go through there. Stuff for the cat, not gonna lie. If only petting was a thing. So we're gonna run down here. This is like the fastest line to where we need to go. Yep. So there's Caitlin, and Caitlin's like, nah, I don't want any of this. And so she runs away. And then the black oil. Any X-Files fan would know what the black oil is. So for those of you that don't, the black oil is actually like the life essence of the aliens. It's like becomes sentient and in the oil, and it infects people. So if you don't escape in time, the black oil gets you, and that's Ripperino. Okay, there's like 3 cutscenes in the space of 10 seconds in this part. It's absolutely wonderful. So now we're meeting back up with Mulder, and then we're about to head into this like underground mine kind of thing, which can be a bit disgusting to deal with as well. Okay, so we just talked to a couple of guys. That old mate just dips. He's like, nah, see yous. We've picked up some night vision goggles, which we need the night vision goggles for the next section, and I'm actually going to pick this up just because marathon luck. So I'm pretty sure. No, there's a strat. I can't remember the strat. There's a strat where you can like skip the animation of the door by putting on the night vision goggles. Anyway, you need the night vision goggles in this section. Otherwise, you cannot see anything. You cannot get too far in front of Mulder, because he can't see, so you're like his guide. So it's just like a slow moving section. If I didn't... Like, you could run like a step at a time, but you don't really gain a whole lot of ground. And it's very risky, because if you go even half a step too far, Mulder will start complaining that he can't see, and you've got to go back and get him. We can't actually go up this ladder until Mulder stops like that. Otherwise, as soon as you go into here, he will say the same thing, I can't see. And then you have to wait for him to catch up, and waste a bit of time too. This part here, there's no avoiding the zombies, so we kind of have to at least take down one. Okay, and so we want to try and slip by without either of us getting up. Okay, go. Run, Mulder. Alright. That wasn't terrible. Sometimes you get really lucky and you can just slip between the two. Mulder! My guy! See what I mean? If you get too far in front of you, you'll be like, oh, can't see. Alright, so that's that section over with. Thank Christ. And so now we just have to bring power back to a little train car, cable car thing. And then that's the end of the chapter. So this is the longest. It gets a lot quicker after this. Okay, so we've got to pick up this.
Mulder, they're coming.
Okay. Gotta kill him. Okay, that was weird. Sometimes he doesn't go down without a fight, but that was really good. Okay, turn the power off. We don't need the fingerprint spray, but Scully will always pick that up if old mate's too close. Okay. Power is now flowing to the car, so now we can leave. Okay, bang. And we just have to enter a little code here, and because there's a bomb. Someone's put a bomb on here for whatever reason. 427, not 420, Sag, and that's the end of that chapter. So things will get a little bit shorter, a little bit crazier from here on out. So we've worked out that a guy named John Gilnitz. Now, if you're an X-Files fan, John Gilnitz is actually a like just a fun little name that they created using the names of all like the directors and producers and stuff. Well, not all of them, but some of them. And it is a reoccurring thing in the show. Like quite often, like a John Doe or just like some character that's got a small role in the game will be called John Gilnitz. And so this guy, they've named John Gilnitz. The game was actually written by the writers of like the X-Files. It's got all the voice actors originally came back for it. So it's a very, very well written, high production game, except for the game itself. The game it's PS2, it's clunky. You're gonna expect it to be clunky. Alright, so we're going into this weird mansion at Briar Lake here, which is like a front, classic like survival horror game. It's actually a front for some like shady stuff going on like underground. And in a moment, Mulder and Scully will split up again, which is what I was saying before. Like the most part of the game, it's pretty well like they're doing their own separate thing. So the chapters are broken up into like they've got their names, right? So there's like Resonance, Renaissance, and Resistance. And so that's going to be the password of one of these. I've got this computer, and that'll get us access to what we need to do. So we're going to just do that now. Shout outs to these guys for having a proper keyboard layout.
Will the password change, or
Nope.
is it...
It is fixed
Oh,
every
is it?
single time. Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah, this game doesn't, in terms of like codes and stuff, there is no RNG in this game. It's not like let's change it for the sake of like replayability. Every code in this game is the same. So Scully's animation there just gets me every time. There we go. That's what I was talking about before about the camera change. Can just like, based on your like analog stick position, can really just screw you up. I'm actually going to pick, no, I won't pick them up. Should be right. I will get some a bit later on though, because there's a part coming up that's a bit gross. Okay, so we're just, Mulder and Scully having a conversation again. So now we're going to pick up an empty, like, security card, I guess, and then we're going to use that. We're going to give ourselves a security card code, and that'll allow us to use things like the elevator. Again, it's a fixed code. You don't have to worry about finding anything specific or guessing it or whatever. It's always the same. There's Let's see if I remember it. I think it starts 8, 6, 5, 9, 2. I'm very rusty with this game. Just so you know. Tried to de-rust for this, but it's one of those games that you got to be on top of every day for like a month. Okay, so coming up in a PB like pace, I would turn to the right to do a really risky strat that can save at least 5 minutes. But if it fails, as I was saying before, there's no checkpoints, it would put me back to the start, so I'd be losing at least 5. So you got to weigh up that risk and reward. So I'm going to do the old way, which is slower, but it's way safer. So in that area that we would go to on a PB attempt, there's like, I guess there's super zombies. So they're people that have been experimented on, so they're much stronger. And they are so relentless that if you make a mistake, you can expect that you're probably going to die very quickly. So we're not playing with that. It's too risky for a marathon. If we were like super far ahead in the marathon, I might consider it, but no, I won't hold up Zom. How much ammo have I got? Ooh, that could be bad. So some of these, so we're coming up to like, he's kind of not as strong as the ones in the other room, but definitely much quicker, and he can be a lot tankier. So there we go. All right, cool. So I have to pick up a couple of things in this room to progress. So there's like a bit of, I think it's the metal? No, it's the glue. So we got to pick up some glue. I'm going to pick up some ammo because I absolutely need it. So this glue will come in handy later on. And that door always gets the better of me. I don't like it. I killed Zom, yeah. Sorry, Zom. So now we're just getting... So we have to create a special concoction to take down these super zombies in that area I was talking about. So we're just gathering the supplies now to do that. That neat little puzzle where you got to like mix the chemicals together. I've got the code written down here, the amounts, because as I said, I'm pretty rusty with this game. So some of them I'm a bit like with. Oh, slow down, buddy. Okay, he's fine. So it's picking up this beaker. So we're going to go... Well, we're going to run to where we need to go and not to the wall. So we need that. Okay, and so now we're going to combine that with with that. I know this game, guys, I'm telling you. So we need one of that. No. Where's one of that? Is that not working? Here we go. And then it was 2 of that one. That's right. I remember what I'm doing now. World record holder, by the way, guys.
We promise he's played this game before.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where like it's easy to forget certain things. There's a code coming up later on that's like just absolutely disgusting. Okay, so yeah, we run back to where we came from, where the elevator is, and then we've got to go into this other room, and you'll see what I mean. If I fail it, I don't know what we're going to do. Because, yeah, that would just put us right back at the start of the chapter. Fun fact, these zombies in this hallway, they will always, if you don't kill them, they will always start laying down and have to get up. So you don't really have to kill them. You can just kind of run. Okay, so I'm gonna pick up the health pack here just in case I need it. Yeah, so that humble brag, but that world record has been standing for 3 years now, and it sounds impressive, but it's just because like after I got that record, everyone stopped running it, and it's not even that good of a record, so it's pretty well free if anyone wants to give it a try. First try, maybe.
Tim scared everybody off.
Yeah. So I've only got limited ammo, so I am taking this a bit slower than I normally would, just because, yep. Alright. So there's like 5 of those guys, and the idea is you have to go in here once you open the door, pick up the TST room key, and leave. But yeah, if you run into any like obstacle or the wall or anything, you're done. You have to have the flashlight out too to like blind them a bit. But yeah, like otherwise you're done. You got to be really precise in that room. And I've never gotten it in a run, ever. I've gotten it in practice, but then when it comes to the run itself, I just flub it every time. But the run lives, so that's fine. So now we're going back to where we made that concoction before. A lot of back and forth. I suppose it's a survival horror game. You expect it, really. And then we have to go into this specific room, which gets a bit trippy. So if you have like epilepsy or anything like that, this is your warning now. I will let you know when it's over with. Okay, so as soon as we go in here, for those with epilepsy, look away. Things get a bit like wild. We're at a rave right now. We're picking up this screwdriver and the observatory key, and then we're going to use the screwdriver, not the key. Okay. This code is actually written on the door, by the way, on the wall, so it's like not too big of an issue to try and find. It's like literally right there. All right, we're good. Someone buy Vac a PlayStation so he can take my world record off me.
Who's here?
Okay, so now that's done, we're going to the observatory. There's one more bit that we need to pick up from the observatory, and then we can sort of go into the final part of this this chapter. So yeah, at this point they're like finding all manner of like crazy experiments that are going on, and that it's absolutely not witchcraft after all, and that it probably has something to do with, oh, surprise, surprise, aliens. Alright, so we just picked up the pieces. So the iron and the glue will come together in just a moment. I don't think I need to pick up any... No, that fight's usually pretty fine. Okay, so go through here. Little box that we got to move. Okay, now we use the glue and the bit of metal to attach the handle to this little hatch here, and now we're going to where the lab is. A secret lab in a mansion in a horror game? That is unheard of. The creativity. Did you get to this point at all in your run, Mild?
No, I think I got through about the first act, first chapter or whatever, and that was where I'm.
Yeah, that seems to be everyone's
I've
experience
seen
with it.
I've seen bits and
Yeah.
pieces of everything, but
Yeah, it's that's pretty much everyone's experience with it. Oh, yeah, cool. There we go. Let's so we're gonna pick up this key here. I've missed that on so many runs, but we need it. Okay, so I'm gonna pick up an assault rifle here, which seems kind of like wild, like Agent Scully with an assault rifle, but yeah, it's definitely needed for this next part. So we're coming up to our second boss fight, which is where you're going to sort of start to learn that the bosses in this game are kind of just reskins of one another, which is just funny, which, you know, that can happen too. We can get stuck on enemies. Get out of it. Okay, and there's another bloke up here that's just hanging out. He's waiting for us, so I'm going to try and just going to like stop for a second, and then, yep, that kind of gets him to lunge at us a bit. Now this boss fight is like, it seems really daunting in a casual setting because it's like you've got three like possessed versions of Caitlyn all attacking you and Mulder at the same time, and then you have to try and kill the boss, but you can literally just ignore Caitlyn's and go straight for the boss. Mulder tends to cop it a bit, but if you're not too bad with your movement, you can like straight up just You can just tank it. Alright, so we're going to run around here. I don't like that position, Caitlin. There we go. And so we're just going to unload on him. Wait for him to die. Because these bosses have this nasty little habit of getting too close. They'll shoot some like beam or something out of them and it stuns you. Or they'll do something and it's just really frustrating. So we just stand as far away as possible so that none of them are going to try to get to us. And then that's it. That's chapter 2 over. And we are coming up to the shortest section of the run. We're about to start episode 2. We've just done episode 1, both parts, so now we're starting episode 2, part 1. So we start off in Skinner's office. Skinner's like getting a bit grouchy with us, as he does. What about the Jouch games? Hey man, you could have submitted that. Okay, again, load times. Okay. So the whole idea of this chapter is we go down to the basement, which if you're not familiar with the X-Files, that is actually where Scully and Mulder's office is. They just throw them down there, get them out of our sight. And then we'll talk to the lone gunmen, who are like reoccurring characters in the series. They're like these big conspiracy nuts, and they're computer whizzes, and they do hacking and all the fun sci-fi espionage stuff whenever Mulder needs them. So we're gonna have a bit of a chat to them, and then we're coming up to our second autopsy of the run, which is a little more involved this time. It's not just like cutting them open and extracting some stuff. So we run into our office. Lone gunmen talk about some stuff that they found. We then leave the office. And that'll take us to where we need to go to do this autopsy. Cool, so
This is Doc.
again, we need to make sure that we've got the gloves and the eye protection on. But this time Scully gets infected regardless, but it just doesn't cooperate all that well. So, do the Y incision. Fun fact that one of my mods worked out that if you crack the ribs flawlessly, it actually plays a similar rhythm to the intro to Africa by Toto. There you go, that was mostly perfect.
All body
Okay.
organs are present.
We just remove the rib cage. Now we have to use that.
There is so far no evidence of internal.
And you'll see that radar go like crazy.
I will
Now
use
we
the
have
device
to
found in Prior Lake to
extract the liquid from
measure
that.
radiation level.
And now we have to make another vaccine. Code for this one's different from the first. Got to keep things interesting, but yep, Scully can somehow just come up with vaccines for absolutely every ailment, apparently. So we pick up the slides again.
Tox screen results are
This transition is always weird, so we've got to do that little like spin around. Okay, so this one is actually 3, 4, 5, which is quite the reverse of the other one.
a hormone. If this man
Okay.
was producing a hormone similar to tetrodotoxin, it would have killed him.
And then we cure ourselves. And that's it. That's the third chapter. It's over with. So we're heading over. So we're going to Roush something or other. The name eludes me, but it's basically like a medical facility that's doing some crazy stuff as well. And the lone gunmen give us a forged ID, and that allows us to get around and do things. And then we'll have like comms with Langley and Frohickey. And then Byers is with us. Byers, they're the names of the lone gunmen. So
You really weren't kidding about it getting shorter as you go on.
yeah, like all the chapters gets. This one's like longer than the last one. So like that chapter 3. Why is that prompt not showing up? There we go. Chapter 3 is absolutely the shortest. This one's short, I think Chapter 5 is probably a little longer than Chapter 4. But yeah, like none of them are even close to Chapter 1 from now on. Alright, so...
Agent Scully, what 5 did you code?
So I just entered a code there. So in casual games, it's like, hey, you need to find a shipping document that has 5 numbers on it, and that's your code. But Nerdy Nesta, who was the previous world record holder, worked out that you can actually just punch in 5 ones, and it works as the code too. So it saves having to do that extra work, or even like remembering a code is just punch in 1.
What now?
So I wonder if that was like a test thing. I don't know. And so we're going to switch the server over, which is just unplug and then plug everything back in. Oh my god. Oh, that's weird. Did that work? My audio is super low for the game, so I can't actually tell if that worked or not. I'm actually surprised that no one... Usually if you pull your gun out in this game, they like kick you out. And you have to start the chapter again. I'm surprised that that didn't actually do anything. Learning something new every day. This section is probably my least practiced, so expect it to be like a really scuffed. Okay, so we're coming up to another area. We have to do like, it's a really long code, like it's crazy long. So I've got it written down because like trying to get it memorized is just disgusting.
Are we clear?
But it'll give us access to this disc that has information on, like there's a part in season 6 where Mulder's in Russia and he gets like infected and all this fun stuff. So the disc has all that information. 670340404. Yeah, long code. There was a time where I remembered it, but that was 3 years ago. Okay, so we're just going to update our card. Again, give us access to other areas. Okay. So now we're going downstairs and we're about to do our third autopsy. Third and final autopsy of the game. Here. Not a whole lot happening outside of that, so we pick up, before we start the autopsy, we pick up this bone saw. That'll come in handy in just a moment. Game takes a little bit of a interesting turn. Okay, as before, we equip this. We do our Y incision. You're all going to be pros at doing autopsies by the end of this run. I challenge every single one of you to do an autopsy and get the rhythm to Africa. But also don't do that because I'm pretty sure that's illegal. Okay. That was pretty decent ribcage. Okay, so now we're going to remove some organs. See all the little pussy stuff. So we're going to pick up that weird artifact. That's the harvester, actually. That's the first boss that we killed a minute ago. So we're just, he's got this weird alien artifact in his body, so we're taking that.
What is it?
Okay. So the alarm's going off. They've caught on to the fact that there's some intruders. So Scully is going to hide. So that's John Gilness. That's the bloke that we saw in the underground bunker earlier. He's dead now. So we have to run into this trigger, otherwise we can't do this part. And this is where the bone saw comes in handy. We need fingerprints to get into the next area. So, yeah, we just took his hand. Fun fact, there's like a making of. Like when you unlock, like when you finish the game, you unlock like a bonus video thing, and they're talking about out of date references, and they're like, oh, we should do this, and then the guy that plays Langley, he's like, no, that'll be so out of date in like 10 years time, so let's use this one, which is arguably an even more out of date thing, because I can guarantee the song that he sings, not a single person here would know. It's like some random nightclub in some random town in America. Alright, so we've entered this lab where there's all these weird like mutant creatures. So we're going to play the data disk that we picked up earlier. And it talks about Russia. Which, hey, guess what? Spoilers. So he's usually pretty like passive, but he wanted to give me a hug today. I mean, I'll allow it, but it's just odd. He's the one you usually want to like worry about. Okay, so going through here, you can see that mark on the door. So the artifact is actually like gone straight. It's gone from Scully. It's just gone straight through that that wall there. And so we're at the moment we're going in here. We're going to rescue Frohiki and Langley and Byers, I should say. Sorry, Langley's not there. If you open number 3, a zombie comes out. So you only want to open 1 and 2.
Thank God, I knew you'd do it.
Now we're coming up to, we're going to see very briefly our next boss, who, as I said before, the bosses are basically just reskins. This one I like to call Budget Nemesis because he has a resemblance to OG Nemesis from RE3. But his name's Pyro. I'll give you 3 guesses what his ability is. Okay, so there's Pyro up in the back there. We're just going to run away from him for now. And so all the power's off right now. The power's just gone to shit. So we need to turn up the backup generator, which is down here. So we have to shoot that. Open it. 3 bullets will do that. I'm going to pick up a heal because this boss fight can be a bit... how you going? Okay. So we hit the button for the elevator here, and while we're waiting for that, we can go pick up a free ammo drop from this dead security guard. Cheering. And this boss fight has a bit of I wouldn't say cool mechanic, but it's got a bit of a mechanic. We can't shoot Pyro until his flames are put out. So there's like 4 sprinkler systems that we actually have to activate before we can actually start fighting. Sometimes he can, like, he's fine. Yeah, he'll let you put him out. But then there's moments like that where he just wants to run straight at you. He knows it's a marathon, so he's like, I'm not going to make it easy for you. Okay, so ideally, I want to get him in a position where he does that flame attack over and over again, but doesn't actually turn around. Which is not that, so... that's actually one of the... Is it? Actually, I can't remember what bounties I put up. Essentially, if you can find a consistent strat to get him to do that, money. So you can see at the moment, he's kind of just standing there. And that's what we want every time, but sometimes he breaks out of that. But overall, this has not been a bad fight. I say as he like... Alright, he's dead. Okay, so we're going to pick the artifact up that we just lost. And then this is the end of chapter 4. I'll now use this opportunity to drink some water. And so,
looking at the bounties, this one it wasn't specifically mentioned. You know, but
okay.
You did have just a general like time save.
Yeah.
Up there, you know.
So a consistent strat for him would save a butt ton of time, I'd imagine, because you're not having to constantly like reset up and move, you know.
One of the main ones, the big bounty that you have, is
yeah, it's coming up.
Coming up pretty.
Coming up in
pretty
about
soon,
where are we at? 54 minutes, so probably 10 minutes maybe. let's see how we go. Okay, so I mentioned Russia a couple of times, so now we're going to Tunguska, because we found out that that's where a whole bunch of crap with the alien virus went down. This chapter's pretty straightforward, bit of back and forth, but nothing too major happens. It's more just like get to point A, point B kind of thing. There's an extra health pack. So in this chapter, any like health items and ammo and guns and stuff that we pick up does carry over to the next chapter. So probably you might see me like pick up a bit of extra ammo and a bit of extra like health packs, just to make the next next chapter a bit, hopefully a bit easier, but we'll see. So there's just a couple of dogs here that we need to get to have a nap. Okay. There's a bloke here with an assault rifle waiting for us, so we're going to kill him and pick up his gun, but we're not actually going to use the gun until like way later. There's another dude here. Excuse me. Okay, so we just picked up a key. I do like the costume changes between episodes. Nice little touch. Can you imagine running around Tunguska in a fucking pants suit? No thanks. Okay, so
Hey!
I think there's some ammo up here, yes. I don't really need the ammo so much as I do the health, but it always helps to have a bit of spare, you know. Okay. So yeah, normally I wouldn't pick up that ammo pick drop, and there's a health item up here that I normally wouldn't pick up either, but for the sake of what's coming, I'm going to pick it up too. So stairs might be a bit scuffed because I haven't done stairs in 3 years either. Okay, so put that. That was pretty fine, so that's cool. Hopefully he stays up there, but I doubt it. He's like the biggest menace in this whole chapter. Like that's it, just him getting in the road. So I forgot to mention that in chapter 2, a character named Alex Krycek appears, and Alex Krycek is kind of like he's working for the bad guys, but then he's working against the bad guys, and it's just this weird dynamic. And we've learned that he's in Tunguska as well. He's like one of the arch nemesis of Mulder. So we just learned then that he's here, and he is infected. By the way, he's infected with the black oil. Okay, so we've just rescued Mulder. So in Mulder's scenario, he actually gets captured. Much like he did in the TV series. The camera in this part's really weird too. Like, it puts you in a weird spot. So sometimes you go to the wrong area. Okay, so now we've got Mulder. We're going to try and go to where we saw or heard that Krycek was going. Through here, and then we find another character who, if you'll forgive me, her name is just eluding me right now. She sort of replaced the informants in the first few seasons, but she doesn't really show up a whole lot, like maybe, I don't know, 10 episodes in some of the later seasons, but yeah, forget her name. So she's like coming with us for the time being, so now there's 3 of us, and this is the most annoying part of this chapter. We start heading back this way, and then... Oh, yeah, there he is. Hey, bud. Uh-oh. That fell down, so now we have to go back the way we came. Okay. So then, after this conversation happens outside, Mulder and Scully are going to split up again. He's like, yo, I'm gonna track down Krycek. Kakya. Loading times, love it. Okay.
Krycek
There's a Zombo here that we need to kill. He's got a crowbar which will allow us to get into that cabin behind us. Of course, I needed to reload. There's this quirk with the gun too, where like you can't, like if they're that close and you start shooting them, it's not going to do anything. You got to like step back and re-aim. Okay, I'll pick that up because I will probably need it. Okay, there is in this area a shotgun, but we don't want that. The original world record holder picked it up, but it was found that you don't need it. You can do some parts of the later sections here with just the handgun, so it saves a couple of minutes. Okay, so we need to pick up this wrench. I said we need to pick up this wrench, thank you. We now have to make a couple more dogs go to sleep. It's past their bedtime. It's interesting, these dogs seem to be a little bit more docile consistently compared to the dogs in Chapter 1. I don't know why, but it just seems to be the thing. So we need to... So this is frozen over, so we actually need to use the wrench to get rid of the ice, and then we fill up the bucket with water, and then for whatever reason throwing water shorts everything out and allows us to leave. So yeah, not a whole lot going on at the moment. Yep. Back through here from where we came, and there's like a chopper waiting for us. You can actually interact with the doors from like a fair distance away, and so it just looks kind of weird because they like she like teleports to the door. Because this is just like this cutscene, like the camera just fixes and puts her in the place that we need to go. So, almost done with this chapter. We just have to interact with this helicopter, and then after the cutscene, we just have to go to a jeep. I'm just gonna say that expression is my favorite part of this game. Scully is just not having it, not having a bar of it. Okay. My first playthrough, I must have spent like 20 minutes running around this area before I realized you just have to interact with the jeep. Anyway, so that's chapter 5. We're about to start chapter 6, our final chapter. It's also not too long, but it has this really annoying... I guess if you die, it's not the end of the world because it is so soon after the start of the chapter. It's just annoying. We've got to do a couple little things, and Mola can get ganged up, essentially. So you want to make sure that that doesn't happen, otherwise you can die. So we're going to go into this old destroyed house, and we're going to pick up a jerry can, or a gas can, I suppose. As some of you Americans might call it. Okay, we're just not going to worry about these guys. It'd be nice if the camera would change. Thank you. There we go. Oh, he heard me talking shit. He's like, "Oh mate, it's a gas can." All right, so we've got that. Now we're going to go pick up... Oh, God, they're just all over me.
Scully!
Yeah, you're right, dude. Chill out. Alright, so we need to pick up this crowbar. And now we're going to go get a rubber hose from the jeep that we came here in. So it's like, there's no going back now. This camera change can be a bit awkward too, so if your positioning is not right, it's... yeah, so that wasn't great. You can... If you have the right positioning, you can actually just straight up stop right in front of the jeep without needing to do anything. So now we're going to go over to this helicopter, and we're going to get the fuel from the helicopter. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to combine the hose with the can. And once that opens up, yeah, now we can interact with it. And now we're leaving. Come on, Mulder. We're getting out of here. There's a boat just around the corner here. There's a couple more items I need to pick up. Just some ammo again, and some goggles, some like night vision goggles. Okay, pick up the goggles. Pick up the health pack, and then we fill up the tank. We are very much on the home stretch now. There is just a couple more little things we need to do, and then we can finish it. Okay. So there's that. I don't think I actually need this much ammo now. Scully, can you please pick up the health pack? Thank you. Alright, so I'm going to put this on now. I'm going to get this out now. Alright, so we're coming up to another boss. His name is IHSM. He tends to like shoot like flies or whatever at you. Again, just a reskin of the same boss, same walking animations, same attack animations, everything. I think the budget went to the voice actors. But this guy, he's pretty easy to deal with. The biggest pain in the ass in this boss fight is that rats in this sewer section will actually attack you too. So you need to make sure that Scully's focus stays on IHSM and not the rats. Let's... Okay, so we need to switch to our handgun now. Oh, that's a new one. Oh, he's chasing me. Bro. Alright, so that's cool. Now we've got 2 rats on us, so that's even better. Okay, this is probably the worst RNG I've had with this guy ever. See what I mean? She'll just focus on the rats. Okay, marathon luck. I love it. Alright, so he's dead. He's got a key that we need. I am going to run over here and pick up another health pack. You're probably sitting there going like, bro, you've got enough health packs. But no, you'll see. You'll see. Mild knows what's up.
Yeah, it definitely is about to get interesting.
Okay, so we're
You're gonna see the character AI, your follower AI, I guess.
At its
Hard at work.
finest. At its finest. This is another instance where the camera can like just really throw you through a loop. And I'm praying that she doesn't do it. She'll just turn around and walk back down the stairs. It happened to me, I think, twice in the world record run. Oh, no, we're good. Thank goodness. Okay, so we're just going to do our best to run past these boys. I said, run past these boys. We're going to meet back up with Mulder. Okay. And then we're going to go up this ladder. Fun fact, you can actually take these off now and it doesn't... you don't have to worry about the animation. When that next zone loads, she won't have them on. I'm going to make a safety save here. It is like imperative that I make a safety save in a in a marathon setting. So this will be the first of 2 safety saves. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna definitely make sure that we've got everything covered. Okay. So we are about to encounter. This is the section before the final boss. We have to take down 4 zombies wielding AK-47s with a handgun. The RNG here is just disgusting. This is the big one, like the big bounty that Mold mentioned earlier. This is it. A consistent strat for this. So you can see how quickly the health depletes. So you can see Mulder's not really helping much. He's just kind of standing there.
He's kind of loses interest in the fight.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's position based too. There's like we've worked out that he's got more of a chance to actually help if you like take a couple of steps to like the, let's say the northeast or the northwest, sorry, of where you start. He helps out a bit more, but not much. Okay, so I'm going to put down. We have to face IHSM again. Actually, I'm going to use that heal. So yeah, we have to face IHSM once more. and then I will make another safety save, and then boss fight. But that was actually not bad. I think if I didn't pick up those extra heals, it would have been like really disgusting. Okay, just to be safe. Okay, he's dead, so we need to pick up this. I have to run all the way back, so I do apologize for the backtracking, but as I said, like, this next part can go one of two ways. It'll be over before you know it, or we're going to be here for 5 more minutes. We are coming up to the final boss. Yeah, on the run back, I might explain the final boss fight for you guys, just so it's less to think about when the fight actually starts. Okay. So we're coming up to the final boss is called the Entity. And he is like I mentioned earlier about like stun locking and stuff with enemy attacks. He is worse for it. So, and you also have like 4, I think, zombies with him during that fight. So it's like if you're not getting hit by him, you're generally getting hit by one of the zombies. And so again, Nerdy Nesta worked out that if you stand in a very specific place, like it's got to be pixel perfect, and kill one of the zombies on the ground before he resurrects, the Entity will actually focus on resurrecting the dead zombie, which gives him an opening and you can just unload on him. So we want to make sure that placement, and it's, as I said before, I'm de-rusting. I haven't practiced some of these parts in a while, so this could go south very quickly, but you'll see what I mean. Right, we want to inspect it. We don't want to combine it with anything. Okay, so we've just got that artifact. That's going to trigger this final scene. Okay, so we want him, so we're going to kill him. He's dead. I'm going to reload my gun. And we didn't get it. So unfortunately, although he seems to be focusing... So that attack is what you don't want. That is the worst possible thing you can be doing. So see how he just there, he's like tried to resurrect his mate. Okay, that's really going south. I don't like this. We may die. It's probably inevitable at this point. And again, it's one of those things where she kind of like focuses on the other zombies, so very rarely will she actually straight up focus on the Entity first up. Yeah, so see how Scully's like running a bit weird? I mean, she's like really hurt. We are so close to death, dude. Oh my god, yeah. If we survive this, I would be surprised. Yeah, alright, now he got us. Alright, so we're gonna have to do that again, unfortunately. But you can see just how bad things are. Hopefully this run, I get it. And you can see how easy it can be. I actually got perfect RNG in practice yesterday. So I guess I used all of that up in practice. But it's fine. We got this.
Yeah, I saw you doing a practice stream of this specific boss fight, and it really is pixel perfect. Like, if he's just standing just a little bit off, it just won't focus on the big guy. Yeah.
So if this goes over estimate a little bit, I do apologize. It is the nature of the beast. In fact, world record is, yeah, it's like I added 6 minutes to the estimate just to try and compensate for this. So yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah, we're very close, and this is like, it is the run killer. Those 2 sections, the final boss and those AK zombies, you can be on world record pace, and my community knows how many attempts I was on world record pace and just lost it at the very end there. So alright, let's try this again, shall we? Yep, there we go. That's the animation we want. So provided no one gets in my way, which he just did. Perfect RNG is that zombie does not touch me. And focus on the entity, bro. Oh my god. Yeah, okay. This is disgusting. Do you mind, dude? Yeah, see what I mean? He's just kind of like stun locking now, and it's just... I haven't had fights this bad in ages. Oh, okay, so that was the infighting I was talking about. So that zombie just hit the entity. This is going to be a really slow walk of shame back to the end of the game, but that's what I was talking about. So in my world record VOD, I thought I had killed him, so I turned around to run to that door, but he still had like 1 hit point left, and as I realized, one of the zombies hit the entity and killed him for me. Yeah, I used that last heal. So yeah, this is going to be really slow, and I apologize, we are overestimate, so sorry, Zom. So yeah, we just have to go into this room.
There could be a crazy strat in there with the infighting. Like you get to the door
yeah.
and just wait for the last zombie.
Yeah. But it'd be way slower though, unfortunately. Like if you
Oh yeah, I guess.
if you get the RNG, it's like not even a full ammo clip puts him down. Like the fight is over in 15 seconds, you know. All right, so get ready on that time button, Dig. It's we got to run to the end of this thing, which is a bit of a long run, so you got maybe 30-40 seconds. And then as soon as the final cutscene plays is when time comes up. Unfortunately, at the amount of damage that Scully has taken, this is as fast as she can go. So, as I said, walk of shame. But we get to hear the theme, so... Okay, so go through this door, and then we will interact with the boat to leave, and then the cutscene will start, so... Okay, and... Time. So that was the X-Files Resist or Serve Scully. Kind of had some memes at the end there, but we got through it. It's I do urge, like, I you know, it becomes a bit of a joke about me going, oh, you should play the X-Files, but really, like, for all its flaws and its clunkiness, it is a really fun run, and I think that with more eyes on it, doing some more, it can probably become an even like cooler run. So there's full tutorials and stuff in the Discord, and as I said, there's some bounties for it. So if you feel inclined to give it a go, then like that's great. So you know, thanks everyone for sticking around. It's been a long marathon. We're on the home stretch now. So shout outs to everyone that's been hanging out this whole time. We really appreciate it, all of you. You know, if you haven't joined the Discord, then join the Discord. You can follow me on all my social medias. It's Tim_Trollgasm. I think that's, well, thanks Mild actually for hanging out. That was really cool of you.
Of course.
Yeah, so that's going to be it from me. So whenever you're ready to take over, Ree, go for it.
Yeah. Thank you for that run. That was great. Another great one from Tim Trollgasm. Thanks, guys. We'll just take a quick break and then we'll be back with some slaves.
If you want to characterize the truth as a video game, then you should stop playing. No way, she finna trip me till I spend it on my money. No way, she finna love me unless I'm dripping just like honey, y'all. Fury, baby, that's my brother, and I'ma shoot it for him. I'ma need that orange cord so we can drive it like a store and act pour it till the morning. Pour the liquor while we mourning. Watch the birdies different crap because this fucking life is boring. Scary every see the dead when I smoke. Look up in constellation and concentration time slow. Got a line white snow, tryna buy beat choke. You can't even fucking blow me, you can go and watch it choke. Like the dead people, like the dead people, like the dead people, like
Austin Powers, Mojo, plenty bitches tryna. Hey, fuck. Austin Powers, Mojo, plenty bitches tryna fuck now. I just took a molly, now I'm geeked up, I can't sit down. Couldn't find that nigga, but his son be at the playground. Kill him if they ever disrespect and watch him die out. Cuz I brought a blick that go brah when he slide now. Betty Crocker trap spot, we whipping plenty pies now. Brody broke his wrist, he beat the pot, then let it cool down. Shut the fuck up when I'm talking, nigga. Turn that whip to Swiss cheese, now you walking, nigga. My little throw up big C's, he my drug dealer. Paint her face, she hit her knees, I'm having fun with her. Hey, think I like this bitch cause she like bitches, brought her friends over. Nigga stay out my way and mind your own or you get ran over. Bitch, I hit his liver with a shot and that boy dead sober. Hey, that boy dead sober. Shoot him in the head, it ain't no boozy fade. Pop out on a bitch looking like marmalade. They shoot, I'm busting back. Got your jaw in my lap. Bitch, I break your bitch's back. The location on the map. If you just don't see a strap, say a word, you getting clapped. 916, I'm pouring them back. Jogging bitches in the trap. These bitches, I love bitches. Wanna see me, love me, touch me. Your bitch loving my ugly. It's why she wanna fuck me. These bitches, I love bitches. Wanna see me, use me, fuck me. Confused and abused for the love. I'm just too trusting. These bitches, I love bitches. Wanna see me, use me, fuck me. Confused and abused for the love. I'm just too trusting. It's real, baby. She love me coming under. It's real, baby. She love me coming under. Keep it real. I'm writing your ear as soon as the beat drop, bitch ass nigga. I said, cuz I flipped the work like an acrobat. He hit the ooh, clenched his chest and had a heart attack. Junkie hit the dog off the foil on the laundromat. I just brought some yerkies and some weed, that's the party pack. Nigga said he tripping, okay, cool, it's forever up. Poker hit his stomach, made him plummet from his tummy tuck. Said he want no smoke, it's too late, cuz I lit him up. Heard the boy depressed, poked his chest, lift his spirit up. In my vision, I see dead folks, trauma left my mind broke.